If you want to understand how Porsche has created the new 911 Turbo S, it's perfectly simple. Imagine one of those electric turbos from the 911 GTs and then double it. Twin electric turbos, 711 horsepower, the most powerful 911 ever made for the road. And no, I didn't mean to paint a sample, match my t-shirt to the car. What I think we're looking at here is the closest thing to a daily driver hypercar since the Bugatti Veyron was invented. So stick around for the whole video and we'll explore how this mighty new engine actually works, the turbo's subtle new look, and I'll explain why. Porsche's gone to the trouble of making this mad new engine to only end up with 11 more horsepower than they got from a twin turbo 911 8 years ago. Not that it's slow, of course. Porsche claims 0 to 62 miles per hour 2 tenths faster than McLaren's upcoming W1 hypercar front exterior. Design will get stuck into all the engine cleverness in a moment. First, let's speedrun the looks. They do like to change how 911s look a little bit. So they've deleted the extra indicator running light cluster down here, and now all the lighting functions are in the headlight. That means these intakes get bigger, more angular. There's a more aggressive line here, and the shutters from the GTS reappear, which close up when the car is in wet mode to keep the front brakes dry. You get the same extendable front splitter and active rear wing as before, but the 911 Turbo S now has 10% less drag. The biggest 911 brakes ever wheels are in a color called Turbonite, which is exclusive to the Turbo and is repeated on the badges. And some of the interior trim, but if you don't like these, you can have aero wheels with carbon fiber inserts. Inside those, 420mm carbon ceramic front discs, the biggest brakes ever fitted to a 911. They're the same size as the Sword of brakes. Bentley Bolt to a 2.5-ton flying spur. Rear exterior design trademark turbo intakes reappear in your wider body shell. And then the business end, quite a lot has changed. For some reason, they've put braille underneath the taillights. There's these big new extractor vents, making the car look wider and more aggressive at the edge, but I'm afraid, deep in there, they are filled in. This isn't, though, huge vent under here, taking hot air out of the intercoolers and the engine bay, and then new squared-off exhaust pipes for the fully titanium exhaust system. That comes as standard and saves 6.8 kilograms. New 701 bhp flat 6 now. This being a 911, I can't actually open the bonnet and show you an engine. But luckily, they have got some naked ones just next door. Even though this is basically the 911 Turbo's facelift, the power plant has had a massive overhaul. No belts, new heads, new water pump, lighter crankcase and a lower friction valve train. It's then all connected to the same 8-speed PDK gearbox with integrated e-motor as in the GTS. The 3.6-liter flat 6 climbs from 641 bhp in the old Turbo S2 701 bhp here, or 711 metric horsepower. Torque remains the same at 800 Newton meters or 590 Fit-lb, but don't feel changed. You see, the old 911 Turbo S only made maximum torque from 2,500 to 40 revolutions per minute. The new one starts making that max torque 200 revolutions per minute sooner, and then maintains it to 6,000 revolutions per minute. So they're aiming for meaty EV-elect torque delivery, and thanks to those electrically assisted turbos. No lag. Zero lag e-turbos. While the new e-turbos are bigger than in the old Turbo S, the blowers are actually smaller than the one in the GTS with shrunken turbines and compressors. That means they spin up even faster, reaching 145,000 revolutions per minute, where the GTS-T hybrid single turbo max is at 125,000 revolutions per minute. And the result of that boost, the motor and the gearbox, all-wheel drive and the classic 911 rear engine traction is hypercar. Speed. Warp speed acceleration 0 to 60 takes 2.5 seconds. And that is a conservative German Porsche claim, using a full tank of 20-year-old 81-octane fuel. I think real world, you'll see these go sub 2.5 seconds to 60, and that's Bugatti Chiron pace. In fact, the engineers claimed that if you lined up this car and the old 992 Turbo S on the line and drag raced them, by the time this got to 60 miles per hour, it would be 2 lengths ahead. 14 secs faster at the ring, and it keeps pulling away. By the time you get to 125 miles per hour in 8.4 seconds. The new Turbo S is half a second up on its predecessor. On its way to a top speed of 200 miles per hour, it's gains like that have made it 14 seconds quicker around the Nürburgring than the 992 Gen 1 Turbo S. Well, if you've got the talents of factory test driver and literal Nürburgmeister JRG Bergmeister any weather performance, but this is not the fastest street-legal 911 by a long way. Because the old 991 GT2 RS with Manthey racing accessories, well, that went round the ring a quarter of a minute faster still. Now I know that was a stripped-out road racer with loads of lightweight bits and tons of aero, but at heart, it was one of these, a twin-turbocharged Porsche 911, and it made 700 horsepower with no hybrid bits. So why is Porsche spending millions on that totally new engine just to stand still? According to the engineers, there are two reasons. One, drivability. The GT2 RS had scary lag and a savage power delivery that they insist isn't appropriate in an any-weather daily driver 911 turbo. Electric turbos erase that lag. And secondly, this engine is just more future-proof. It achieves best-in-class combustion efficiency and generates 9 grams less CO2 per kilometer than the AWD Turbo S. This is how hard car companies are now having to work to satisfy their customers' power demands and comply with all the legislation. Why no plug-in hybrid? And I did ask Porsche, why didn't you just make it a plug-in hybrid? And they said, well, doing that would have added 200 to 300 kilograms more weight. It would have probably robbed a load of the trademark boot space. And one of them even said, because we're in the business of making sports cars, not lorries. Porky Porsche versus carbon fiber, mind you. The 1.9 kilowatt-hours hybrid battery, the motors, the cables, all add 85 kilograms to the Turbo S, taking it the wrong side of 1,700 kilograms. But you can save weight by throwing carbon fiber at the problem. Oh yes, Porsche's properly leaning into pointless carbon fiber options. You can have carbon fiber aero kit, carbon fiber wheel inserts, carbon fiber air intake, the exclusive turbo carbon trim inside, and the must-have accessory for cars and coffee next year, the carbon wiper arms, which save, and I'm not joking, 600 grams of turbo's Achilles heel like all Gen 2 992s. It's gone fully digital in the instruments. And I still haven't forgiven Porsche for getting rid of the physical rev counter. I'm still not over them replacing the turnkey starter with a boring button. The Coupe folder is still all wrong, and the turbo's Achilles heel is at for 200,000 pounds. You get pretty much exactly the same interior as you get in a Carrera for pound 100,000. It's slightly lacking some sense of occasion, and you have to remember, this thing competes with some properly exotic supercars' new bits. While there's a delightfully 80s boost gauge in the digital display, you can keep an eye on your battery state of charge down there. And for some reason, instead of getting them as standard, you have to spec the tiny back seats as a no-cost, no-legroom option. What comes next? Thanks for watching, and if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Top Gear channel for all our supercar first looks. Because you see, now Porsche's mastered this electric turbo wizardry with 1 and 2 turbos. They're going to want to see how far they can push it, aren't they? 700 horsepower, that's not going to be the limit. That is the turbo's new GT2. Anyone